Doobie doobie doo, doobie 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 doobie. Look, we have today from Mexico Remi Alvarez. Good to have you. Hello, Remi.
Hello, Roberto. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for coming to MICHIKO Studios. We are now at the old office, and you're also a friend of Roberto's.
Yes, a very
And
good friend.
I know you came to New York because you had 2 concerts at the
That's
Vision
right.
Festival.
Yes.
And but the most interesting thing for me was that you are coming from Mexico, and you are actually, for me personally, also the first Mexican musician I'm interviewing. So
Oh.
you are a VIP now, something special, and I'm happy you can speak also English, so we can talk about it. So Remi, from what part of Mexico are you?
I am from Mexico City. All my life I have been living in Mexico City. I was born there. You know, Mexico City is a big city, big city, and it's beautiful. People is beautiful. I'm happy to live there, and you can find so many different things. So I really like to be there, to live there, and to work there.
And but I think as a Mexican playing, I know your music is not really the typical Mexican type of music. You are more of an improviser, more of a jazz player, so how did you come in touch with your saxophone and for Mexico? I mean, I think there's no jazz scene in Mexico. That's my image.
How does it happen? Well, it was some time ago, you know. I can say that my first concert I saw, first jazz concert I saw in Mexico City. My mother took me to the nice place, nice hall, the best. Now they play more classical always. Is El Palacio de Bellas Artes, and there played.
How
I had
old were you?
12,
Oh.
12 years old, and you know who played?
No.
Sonra and his orchestra.
So your mother was really.
My mother
Did
was
she know
into the art, liked the art, so she took me to the concerts and some things about the art, ballet or
Ballet.
museums or things with music and dance, and especially music. Yes.
So your mother was really into culture and arts
Yeah.
and wanted to teach you.
Yes,
Oh, very good mother.
Yes, very good.
And then she took you to see Sun Ra.
To see Sonra, and I
Oh.
love it. I didn't know nothing, but I say, man.
So what do you remember from that
I
concert?
remember the scene and see all the movement of the orchestra. You know, I remember that few days after I talked with my friends and say, oh man, did you went? Oh yes, I went. And what did happen? Oh, I love it. And some other didn't understand, but for me, you know, it was like, yeah, I like it. I really like it. But years after, in 77, I was like 16 years old, went to Mexico City. Don Cherry, he went there to play some concert with American musicians and 2 Mexican musicians.
And how old were you?
16.
16.
16.
Oh, wow.
And the Mexican-American saxophone player was Henry West. Henry West, his name is American, but he was living in Mexico. And he was an alto saxophone player. He invited Don Cherry. I guess Don Cherry stayed in Mexico for a while, traveling with him. And this guy, Henry West, and his wife, Ana Ruiz, the piano player, they played with Don Cherry, and they made a workshop, kind of workshop. And
Workshop.
A workshop.
Yes.
Don Cherry.
Mm.
It was a workshop, and I went. It was on a theater.
Mm-hmm.
I went in the morning, 11 or something like that. And it wasn't really a workshop. It was a concert. Don Cherry was sitting on the floor, with his
Pocket
trumpet, the drummer, the tambura, the piano, the bass, this guy on saxophone, and the people or the students. We were at the theater sitting like if we were the people, just sitting. But with my instrument, it was a flute at that time. I played flute. So I was playing together with them, just like that.
You were playing?
Yes. It was a workshop, kind of. But the saxophone player, the Mexican, he didn't know me. But he said, come to the microphone. Come and play with us here. So I went, he put me the microphone.
Oh.
And man, it was the first time I blow out my mind. I played as hell. Something happened. My spirit went out of the earth. The energy of Don Cherry and the music and everything was incredible.
Oh.
My first time.
So then it was your debut live.
Yes, with Don Cherry.
With Don Cherry.
With Don Cherry, my spirit went out of my body. I didn't know nothing. Just played, and after play, everybody was talking to me. The drummer, Robert Mann was the drummer.
Robert who?
Mann.
Robert
Mann. I don't know. And I really the piano player, Don Cherry, more cool, his own spiritual thing. And the saxophone player talked to me. Oh, fantastic! So it was my very first experience. And after that, because I had a brother-in-law that he was from France, from Paris, and he get married with my sister, older sister, 5 years older than me, and they went to Mexico, and he brought all his records, and he loved Albert Tyler, Eric Dolphy, Charlie Mingus, Charlie Parker, Keith Jarrett, Charles Lloyd, Pharoah Sanders, many, some Coltrane, some free, so he really teach me into that music because he was older than me.
Okay.
So he lived that kind of music when he was young, I guess a little bit in the late 60s, what was happening, with everything was happening. So I saw all that many records, listened to the records, and I discovered it.
So then
yes.
Your mother was an influence, your brother-in-law was an influence?
A big influence.
Oh, I see.
That's why.
That's great.
That's why. And then I saw on Downbeat magazine, they put a lot of schools.
You could get Downbeat in Mexico?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, some of them, yeah. So I bought one, and I saw there were many schools teaching.
In Mexico?
No,
City.
outside here at the States.
Okay.
At the States.
You saw it in Downbeat?
On Downbeat
magazine,
right. Yes. And I saw the Creative Music Studio of Carl Berger's in Woodstock.
In Woodstock, yes.
And I saw that Don Cherry was there the first 5 weeks, and the other 5 weeks was Anthony Braxton and Roscoe Mitchell, the 5 weeks. So I talked with my father. My father said, well, not that much. Well, I can help you for the summertime, 10 weeks, only 10 weeks. You can be there. I worked at the Creative Music Studio, helping with the breakfast, because you live it there.
Yes.
The 10 weeks.
And your father agreed? And what age were you then?
18.
And he paid you everything, the ticket and so on?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So he supported your music career as well, like your mother?
At that time.
At that time.
For the summer.
Oh, okay.
for the 10 weeks.
Okay.
Yes, he was a good.
I see. Okay, it's great. You started really very well then, with good musicians, with people around you, your family supporting you. You got the good teachers from the beginning. You're a lucky one.
Yes.
Good. Okay. So you were born in Mexico City, right?
Yes.
And so is Mexico City how is about rock music or so? Were you interested in rock music?
Yes, like everywhere. I think rock music always have
Yes.
more people, more musicians that want to play rock. Some very good Mexican groups,
Mm-hmm.
famous Mexican groups.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, the young people always like rock more than jazz.
So okay, then let's talk then more about your instrument in part 2.